And she know that's the truth.
No,
She
you
know that's
lying.
the truth.
That ain't nowhere near no
Okay,
truth.
no. All right.
I would say.
So the relationship didn't work out. And she says she leaves the house on January 15, 2023. Your
No,
position.
she left the house in December. She got
December.
her
No, I
lease.
did not.
She got her lease.
December.
She signed
Miss
her lease.
Henderson, put yourself on
I'm
mute.
sorry. Okay.
She
Miss
signed
Hart,
her
so
lease.
you said December of 2022?
Yes, ma'am. She signed her lease in December. She was in the process of moving things in and out the house, but she kept trying to. After she moved out the house, she kept trying to keep coming over here. Instead of her moving everything out the house, she would just come over here every other week trying to move something out the house. And,
Okay.
and it got to the point we had to call the police. Like, wow, the police had to tell her, did she move everything out the house? You can't keep coming over here like that. Keep trying to get everything out the house. She signed her lease in December. And then when she signed her lease, she was first she left and went to her sister's house. And then after she left and went to her sister's house, that's when she got her apartment, because that's when she signed her lease in December. I wish I could send you the email.
Mr. Hart, take a seat. Take a seat. You're making me dizzy.
Because I can't believe she did this, Miss Barrie. She went to the courthouse and told you all that she wasn't even trying to see nothing from me. That's trying to take my house.
Mr. Hart, what is she trying to do?
She's trying to take my house from me.
Mr. Hart,
she told me she got everything she wanted from me.
The house.
I didn't say it would be easy, Neo.
Henderson versus Hart, please raise your right hand. Henderson versus Hart. Please open your mics, state your name, and raise your right hand. Henderson.
Donovan Hart.
One more time, Ms. Henderson.
Tabitha Henderson.
All right, raise your right hand.
Yeah.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to receive is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I need to hear from you, Mr. Hart.
Yes.
All right, you're Tabitha Tamiko Henderson Hart, is that right?
Yes.
You've been a resident of the state of Georgia for more than 6 months prior to filing this action?
Yes.
Your spouse is Donovan Harp, and he's on this platform with you?
Yes.
You served him via share. Oh, no, you did not. Hold on. Personal service. Let's see. Yeah, personal service on June 13, 2023. Is that correct?
Yes.
It's your position that there are no minor children born in the marriage?
No.
Are you currently pregnant?
No.
You're lawfully married on July 1st, 2017, separated on January 15, 2023.
Yes.
You wish to have your name restored to Tabitha Tamiko Henderson?
Correct. Yes.
Henderson is your maiden name?
Yes.
You asked for the court to divorce you on the grounds of the marriage is irretrievably broken and adultery. If I divorce on the grounds of adultery, I would have to take evidence of that, which means you would have to prove adultery. We would take basically a hearing. Well, we could go into a hearing on it, but it would be an evidentiary hearing. Or I can divorce you on the grounds that the marriage is irretrievably broken. How do you wish the court to proceed?
I did submit evidence, but what was the second option?
Or I can just divorce you on the grounds that the marriage is irretrievably broken.
Yes.
So you want me to divorce you just on those grounds, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it your position that the marriage is irretrievably broken?
Yes.
Is there any hope of reconciliation?
No, ma'am.
Or is there any debt, liability, assets, and property to divide?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how we're supposed to work that, because it was a big mess when I left. And we just haven't really been able to resolve that between the two of us. The main thing was, I guess, the house. 1 minute he said he was going to give it to me. He had left, but he came back and he moved downstairs. And he never left. So we remained roommates, but we had a big fight, and that's what caused me to leave. the house because I didn't want to live like.
So are
But,
you disputing the house? Do you want the court to hear who gets the house, or are you conceding the house?
I don't know if I would have rights to it. It's in his name.
Okay. Did you divide before? Did he buy it before the marriage? After the marriage? Have you put money into it? I don't know. What do you got to tell me you want me to do?
Yes, the down payment came from my 401k. All the closing costs, the maintenance of the house, everything I upkept of the house. He just recently, when I left, started putting into the house, other than, helping me with the monthly payments. But other than that, yes, everything I've done.
Okay. That's what I'm asking you. Do you have evidence of what you put into the house that you want the court to consider for trial today?
I didn't submit it, but I can get it. My 401k statement and things like that.
You can't get it because today is the day.
Okay. Yes,
So
ma'am.
you can talk about it. I mean, you can tell me certain things. Sometimes
yes, ma'am.
the court can accept your testimony as evidence sometimes. But
yes,
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out, do you want to have a full hearing on the house or not?
We can do that today. Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm gonna so how much time do you think it'll be for the court? Because I'm gonna have to redo your numbers with regard to time.
Well, just what I have. I mean, it won't take me but a few minutes to just tell you, so maybe another 15 minutes.
Okay. And what about you, Mr. Hart?
Ma'am, okay, this is my house. I never left my house. I never left and came back. I've been staying in my house for the longest. I bought this house before we was married. And all I was saying, I wanted to keep the house. When Tabitha left, and she basically took everything out the house. And she basically told me she got everything she wanted. Only thing Tabitha left me here was a bed, the living room set, and the TV. She left me upstairs.
Mr.
I had to
Hart,
ask
how
my
much
mother.
time do you think it'll be for the court to hear what you need to say about the house?
Yes, we might need more than 15 minutes because
How much time? I just need to know the time so I can figure out where to put you.
30 minutes.
All right. So now you're at 45 minutes. I'm going to have to come back to you. Okay.
Okay.
A few minutes later.
Hart versus Henderson. All right. So the issue here deals with a home. I see Miss Henderson. Mr. Hart, can you open up? Mr. Hart. Mr. Hart, can you open up your video? Miss Marsha, do you have a number for him?
Actually, I do.
Hello?
There he is.
All right, so let me get some background information so we can start on the issues dealing with the house. It looks like Miss Henderson is indicating that she has some sort of equitable interest in the house. Mr. Hart, you indicated that you had the house prior to marriage. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
When did you buy the house?
I bought the house on June 14th, 2017.
When did you marry?
July 1st,
July 1st, what?
2017.
Okay. Did you buy the house in anticipation of the marriage?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So she's been in the house basically as long as you've been in the house, minus 2 weeks.
No.
No, ma'am.
Y'all moved in together?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's hear it. Ms. Henderson, you may proceed.
Yes, we purchased the home before the wedding. We closed on it actually before the wedding took place. But the
Say that
whole
one more time
initial,
now. Say that one more
I
time.
said we were in the process of purchasing the home before our actual wedding date. Donovan picked the wedding date. We got the house. We found the house before our actual wedding date because we wasn't planning on necessarily moving before the wedding date, but we were able to close before
So you
our
all
actual
look for the
wedding.
house together because the intent
Yes, ma'am.
is going to be your marital home.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes. And so took, I paid for all the credit things that need to be done on the credit report for Donovan and everything. And the realtor said it was best to just run with him because he had W-2 income as opposed to my 1099 income. And that's how it ended up only being in his name. But as far as the down payment and closing costs that came from my 401k, everything with the house, as far as the maintenance,
Now the
the lawn
401k,
care.
how much did you pay towards the house? The 401k.
Donovan has all the paperwork because he took all the documents. But it was 5,000 and what's the number on the paperwork? He has the paperwork, but it was over 5,000.
Your Honor,
Okay,
Your Honor.
you'll get a chance to speak.
Okay.
So your position is the 401k, you paid $5,000 on it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And what else did you said you paid for the credit stuff? What was that total?
Oh my God, I can't remember. It was 500, I believe, for the lady to actually do the credit. But the items that were on the credit I'm not really sure, but I know it was a $500 fee that I had to pay her to actually start on the credit files.
So she was trying to get your credit number up.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Or get Donovan's credit number
Yes,
up.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
And so once you pay the $5,000, how much is the monthly note?
At the time, I think it was $1,387.
And out of the $1,387, how much was paid by you and how much was paid by Mr. Hart?
Donovan was giving me $500 a week. But out of that it was $2,000 a month. And out of that, he had an $800 truck note, his cell phone bill, and his car insurance. So whatever was left out of that, I applied the rest toward the mortgage.
Okay, so he gave you $2,000 a month.
Yes, ma'am.
And you had to pay his $800 truck note.
Yes, his car insurance, his truck insurance.
How much was the car insurance?
I think his portion was $203 time, and then his cell phone bill.
Which is what?
His cell phone bill was, I think it was $75.
Okay, so basically you paid $1,000 towards his bill and $1,000 on the house note?
Yes.
Okay.
Whatever was. So, and I took care of everything else.
And you took care of what, like grocery, light bill, water bill, all that kind of stuff?
All that kind of stuff. Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
Okay. So basically you would agree that, and under your understanding, that you all collaboratively took care of the house, each other's bills, no matter, not really looking at the actual number, but that you all collaborated to take care of all the bills, including the house.
Yes, ma'am.
Usual bills.
Yes. And as far as the number, the numerical portion, financially we did. But as far as like lawn care, I had to pay. I was paying for the lawn care. I was paying for the maintenance or whatever was broke, the remodeling. We was remodeling room by room, things of that sort. Donovan, I took care of everything pretty much.
Okay. So at some point you leave the house. When is that?
I initially moved out January 15th. Yes, ma'am.
January 15th of what?
2023.
Okay. And at that point in time, did you pay any more towards the house?
No.
Okay. And why did you leave in January of 2023?
Because our relationship wasn't getting any better. We had a big fight, and from that, I just couldn't regain any type of relationship with Donovan. We had a real big fight, which I submitted a video, partially of what had took place. And it was just like all our arguments, and they just continued to escalate. And I just didn't want to live like that anymore. And I asked him to leave, and he left for a few hours and came back and moved downstairs. And he thought living downstairs was going to be the answer as long as we were roommating. And it wasn't okay.
Why wasn't it okay?
Because nothing was getting resolved. We wasn't working on our marriage. Nothing was getting resolved. He even suggested at that point we go to counseling. We went to 2 sessions. And the first session, she was telling me that I had to listen to what he said and accept the fact that he wasn't going to cheat. And I'm trying to tell her he said that for the last 2 years, he's been saying that, but he's continuously cheating. And we're fighting in lieu of that cheating. And everything just trickled from there. Nothing was getting better. Lies were being told, and we was just going at it. There was no no
Now, how are
effective
you going
communication.
at it if you're in the basement and you're upstairs? How do y'all
Because he's upstairs. He could come upstairs and we just wasn't communicating. But even like when he moved downstairs, he still felt the need to roam upstairs. He could come in when he wanted to and just do what he wanted to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And what about children?
We don't have any children together.
Okay. And do you know what the house is worth now?
What it's worth, I think the last I checked, it was at 307.
And how much did you pay for it?
187.
All right. So you're thinking there's about $220,000 in equity.
Give or take. It was somewhere. I can't remember the exact numbers, but yes, ma'am.
How much of that equity do you want?
I want half because he even agreed to give me half. He had initially agreed to let me have the house. He signed a letter, had his dad to sign it as a witness, saying that he would give it to me as long as I didn't ask him for 1 cent. And I submitted that to you as well. But then when he realized that I wanted the house and that was his way of hurting me, he didn't want to give it to me.
Wait a minute. You have a letter indicating he was going to give the house
Yes,
to you?
ma'am. He signed it and he had his dad to sign it as a witness. Yes, ma'am.
It wasn't notarized, ma'am. Ma'am, that was
Mr. Hart, you'll have a chance to speak.
okay.
Is that a part of the evidence that you've already given me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Miss Marshall, can you send that to me? All right.
Yes, ma'am.
And so then at some point your position is that he said he didn't want to give the house to you.
He didn't want to give it to me. He started saying he had spoke to lawyers and he said, yes, because I left, I don't have rights to this and this. He spoke to somebody who was giving him advice. So he went from there and we just never, like I said, that's all we argued about for this past year. That's all we've been arguing about. We still haven't been able to talk about our marriage or none of that and trying to reconcile or reconcile or anything like that. And then just recently he, I had forgot my thought, but yeah, he had gave me the letter and then he said I could buy him out and stuff like that. But then he said, he just not gonna give it to me. Because I've asked him a few times throughout the year.
Okay. Mr. Hart.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So let's start with the house. So based on June, what I hear so far is June 14th of 2017 is when you bought the house. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I bought the house on June 14th. Me and Tapper were basically we was in a close relationship. We was like best friend. And basically when she heard that I was trying to buy my house, she gifted me some money to help me. I even have documents and paperwork that she did gift me money. I have Wiseman, the Wiseman attorney at law. She was there posing as my sister because it wasn't even an intent for her to even try to pursue anything after the house.
Okay, so you're telling me that you all were just in a best friend relationship when you bought the house.
Yes, ma'am. We was in the process, after once she did that, I was like, wow, she really cared for me. And so therefore I proposed to her and married to her, I proposed to her after that. And we got married on July 1st.
So you were not looking for a house because you were going to marry her. You were looking for your own house. You had a good relationship with her. But when she offered to pay for your house, you decided to marry her.
No, I didn't offer. No, this wasn't the case. When she gave me the money, we had already been in a relationship. And then when she gave me the money, I was like, okay, she really here for me. And I figured that since she hadn't looked out for me moving in with her, because while I was staying with her, I was in the process of looking for me a house. While I was staying with her at first. And I was in the process of getting a house. And so she gave me the money and she gifted me as a sister. She gifted me the money. I have my paperwork. And
I understand the gift part. You don't need to give me paperwork for the gift card because you both agree she gifted you money. So you agree she gifted you money. She agrees she gifted you money. So I don't need proof of that because you both, that's not in contention. You both agree on that. What I'm trying to figure out is the relationship at the time of the gift. your position is you were best friends, and that
Yes, we was. Yes, ma'am. We was friends at the time, because that's why.
right, you were friends
Yes,
at
ma'am.
the time, and only because she gifted you the money that you decided you were going to marry her.
No, ma'am. This was not
Oh,
the case.
okay,
You know, I
so
was
you
already
knew-
having feelings. I was already having feelings for her. I was already having intent to marry her anyway. But see, being that I was trying to provide, being that I was staying with her, I figured I was just gonna get a house anyway, and I would figure that she was gonna move in with me,
okay,
as opposed to us getting
so
married.
you already anticipated her moving in with you in this house.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what she just said. I thought you, okay. I don't think you're saying anything differently. Do you see something differently from what she said, which was that you all were looking for a house and that you intended,
I was looking for the house.
but you intended for her.
I did all the foot. I did all the footwork and everything else, ma'am. I went to the lawyer's office, did the closing and everything else, ma'am.
Yeah,
I did all the footwork.
Mr. Hart, I need for you, so that you're not inconsistent. Listen to what I'm asking you, okay? When you look for this house, was it your intent to bring in Miss Henderson as your bride?
Yes, ma'am.
That's all. I think that's what you're saying. And I think she's saying the same thing. It's just that you're articulating a little bit differently. You're saying she's your best friend. She's thinking she's your fiance. Okay. So maybe it's a little difference on with regard to the idea of it, but your intent was to bring your bride into this house, right?
Yes.
Okay. You said that she
And
paid you $5,000.
I don't think it was quite $5,000, ma'am. I'm gonna have to go to my paper. I have my paperwork right here.
All right. What do you think it was?
More like 3,000.
Okay. Whatever it was the down payment that you needed to get into the house.
Right here, $3,124.
Okay. And was that what you needed to get into the house?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you put any extra money on that?
Yes, ma'am. We collectively put money in together, ma'am, because we would stand together.
All
and
right.
as far as the
How much money did you put in on
half of what she did, because I was giving her money when we would stand together. I was giving her money for this house. And as far as the mortgage, ma'am, I paid the agreement was for me to pay the mortgage.
Mr. Hart?
Okay.
Before we get to the mortgage, how much money of the down payment was yours?
Hold on, let me get it. Hold on 1 second, ma'am. $1,562.
So she gave you $3,100 and you put in $1,500.
She didn't give me 31. We collectively put the money in together, ma'am.
Okay, I'm confused. So the $3,100 that you just indicated was the down payment was not the money she put in.
What I'm saying, because see, I needed, being how my credit was, however she fixed it, that's how I don't know how she fixed it, ma'am, because we went through a whole bunch of homeboys and friends, credit repair program type things. So however she fixed it, that's how she fixed it. I'm not aware of how she fixed it.
So she was intricately involved in the
my credit, in the credit process.
So you're not sure how much money you put down? Look at your papers.
Well, what? Okay, up front is 3124, and I was giving her money on that. So whatever money she took out, ma'am, that's what she took out. And for what I'm looking at, that's how much we put collectively together down on the payment. And
how
when
much
the lawyer,
how much of money of that was her money?
Half of it.
Okay, so she put whatever it was down payment, whatever the down payment of it was, half it was hers and half it was yours.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's what we're asking. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay, so half and half. All right. And then she indicates that she took money from her 401k. Were you aware of that?
No, ma'am, I was not aware of that.
You're not aware. Okay.
And from what I'm understanding, when I was trying to take money from my 401k, you have to initially have proof and documents showing that you're trying to purchase a home in your name. But what my understanding is, because I was trying to get my house remodeled, and that's what they explained to me. So
Okay,
I'm trying to figure out how she was able to take 401k.
We're not going to worry about whether it's what your understanding of 401ks are, because we recognize there are 1,000 different programs and people require different things. So
okay,
I'm not going to deal with that. But only her position is that she used her 401k. Your position is you were not aware that she used a 401k.
No, ma'am.
Okay. But you do recognize she paid for whatever it was, she paid for half, and she fixed,
yes, ma'am.
And she also fixed your credit.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now you're in the house, and she says that the house note is $1,387.
I paid every month of that. The agreement was, Judge Barrie, was I paid the mortgage and she paid the utility bills. Okay. Whatever bill that's what the agreement was. And that's the money I was giving to her every month. And Tabitha kept adding different bills on top of bills. That's how my credit wound up getting messed up, because she kept getting different things added onto my credit and canceling. Just like I was trying to tell her one time not to get a house in Clayton County.
Mr. Hart, I'm not dealing with all of that. Okay. Questions are very simple. $1,387 was the note that you all paid every month.
I paid that, Judge Barrie. Okay. She didn't pay nothing of that.
Okay.
I have records of that too.
Mr. Hart, you just said, I'm repeating you. You said that's what I gave Miss Henderson to pay the note. So is she paying the note or not?
Well, when she left, I was behind the month. She left me with bills to pay.
Paid the note, Mr. Harp, or not? Was Miss Henderson responsible for paying the note?
Yes, ma'am. She was responsible for paying the note.
Okay. And your position is, though, that you paid the house note. That
yes, ma'am.
The money to pay the house note.
Yes, ma'am.
And then she would pay all the other bills.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So collectively, you all were living in a household wherein all of your funds were going together to pay all of the notes and bills of the house.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you say to Miss Henderson, I'm giving you money for this house note. I don't want you to put any money on this house note because this house is mine.
Could you come again? I didn't understand what you're saying.
Tell her that you were paying the house note because you don't want her to have any responsibility related to the house. That is, I'm trying to make sure you understand that this is my property, and I don't want you to even think you have any interest in this house.
Well, this particularly came from her mouth all the time, like, this is your house and you paid. It wasn't me. So yeah, if no, I didn't say that, she was saying.
I'm asking you what you said to her. I'm asking you, did you make it clear that this property was yours and you don't anticipate her doing anything related to this property?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So at some point you would give her how much money per month?
It sometimes, ma'am, it started from like $650 a month, and then it kept going up and down when she wanted to like venture out to do different business and stuff on, like a daycare or anything. This when she'll try to get more money out of me. So for me to pay the bills.
About her daycare, I'm asking you, how much money did you give her towards the note?
It started off like $650 a week, and then it went down, and then it went back up.
Okay. Did you have an $800 note for your car?
Not at first. I got my truck later on down the line. My original car note was $500.
All right. And then how much was your insurance?
I'm not for sure because she was responsible for paying the utility bills. She knows that.
Utility bills included the insurance?
Yes, ma'am. Because we were both on the same insurance, and that made our insurance premium cheaper because we both had good driving records.
Okay. And then $75 that was paid for your phone. Who paid the phone bill? Was she responsible for paying the phone?
I was paying my own phone bill. Okay. I was paying my own phone bill. And what happened? I was paying my own phone bill, and she decided for us to go on a family plan together. Us and her two kids, all of us going on the same plan together, and all four of us were splitting the bill down collectively.
Who would pay for the light bill?
She paid the utility bill. She paid the light bill and the gas bill
Did
up
she pay
until
for
she
lawn
moved out.
care? Did she pay for lawn care?
No, I did that.
You paid for the lawn care?
Yes, ma'am.
So you were giving her money and also paying separate things out of your
Yes,
own.
ma'am, I was. Yes, ma'am, I was.
Okay. So when you give her the money, are you giving her money in cash or are you sending it through her account?
I'm giving her money in cash, sending it to CashApp and through Zelle.
So when you get paid at the end of the week, you're going to give her $650, anywhere from $500 to $650. And how are you going to give it?
Transfer. We had a joint account together, and I just transferred from my account to the joint account.
Was it an amount that transferred every single week, or was it something you?
It was going up and down because when she wanted to do different things.
I didn't ask you if it was going up and down. I asked you, was it a manual or was it an amount that you had to do every single time at the end of the week, or did it automatically pull that money?
It was manual upon what she asked for.
Okay. And so you would put the money into her account at the end of every week?
In the joint account, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Why not just pay the note yourself if you wanted to make sure that the note was handled without it being considered a gift of the marriage?
Because Judge Barrie, I've been through a lot of different situations in my life, and I have been in situations where I have not paid a bill. And my thing is what I told Tabitha: if it was left up to me, things would be behind. So I felt like I was trusting her to make sure the bills was paid on time because, like I said, I done been a victim before. I done had my lights cut off and gas cut off. So by me giving her the money, therefore I won't have nothing. I'm basically old school, how our grandparents did, our grandmother, how granddad used to give grandmama their money. And that's how I was trying to go out how I seen my granddad did my grandmother.
So basically the problem though is that you're taking your money, which is, you says your individual money to pay an individual bill, mixing it with the family bill and spit it back out and claiming that it's still your money. You see what the problem is?
Well, once she paid a bill, I never said anything about that it was my money because the bills were paid and I didn't have anything else to worry about.
That's my point. My point is that it was your marital money.
Okay.
Because it's coming from your work check, right?
Yes, ma'am.
She says that at some point you all can't get along and you go to the basement, she goes upstairs. Is that right?
Okay, for that concern, ma'am, before she moved out, I had literally just took her on a trip for her birthday in October.
That's not my question, Mr. Hart. Mr. Hart, my question is, when you were in the house, who lived downstairs, who lived upstairs? That's my question.
She lived upstairs and I moved downstairs to keep her from trying to move out because I was trying to mend things out with her.
Okay, tell me about it.
Oh, okay. She was living upstairs and I was living downstairs trying to mend things out with her. I had just got my CDL, started driving tractor. And I was telling her, to keep from arguing, how about if you feel like you didn't want to be around me and if you until we get a divorce instead of being separated, you stay upstairs, I'm downstairs. I had moved downstairs. And before then, she had already had planned, got her apartment and everything. She waited up until I went to Las Vegas with my cousin while I was on vacation. She knew it was a guy's trip. When I came back, her daddy, Robert Bogan, called and told me that she was moving everything out the house. And he was like, that's not right because we have not even went to court or anything, got a separation and everything. She moved out the house and basically took everything. Only thing she left in the house was a sofa, the TV in my bedroom, and a bed and a sofa chair. My mother had to basically help me replace everything in this house. Not only that, she took all of this. I have my handicapped daddy staying with me. And if we need to, I'm willing to call her daddy, Robert Bogan. And he called and told me that that's what she was doing in Vegas. I was in Vegas, my cousin around me, and my little brother was around me. Saying that's what she was doing because it was not right. Because we haven't even went to court yet to even get a separation. And she know that's the truth. She know that's the truth.
That ain't nowhere near no
truth. No. All right.
So
So the relationship didn't work out. And she says she leaves the house on January 15, 2023. Your
No,
position
she left the house in December. She got
December.
her
No, I
lease.
did not.
She got her lease.
December.
She signed
Miss
her lease.
Henderson, put yourself on
I'm
mute.
sorry. Okay.
She
Mr.
signed
Hart,
her
so you
lease.
said December of 2022?
Yes, ma'am. She signed her lease in December. She was in the process of moving things in and out the house, but she kept trying to. After she moved out the house, she kept trying to keep coming over here. Instead of her moving everything out the house, she would just come over here every other week trying to move something out the house. And,
Okay.
and it got to the point we had to call the police. Like, wow, the police had to tell her, did she move everything out the house? You can't keep coming over here like that. Keep trying to get everything out the house. She signed her lease in December. And then when she signed her lease, she was first she left and went to her sister's house. And then after she left and went to her sister's house, that's when she got an apartment because that's when she signed her lease in December. I wish I could send you the email.
Mr. Hart, take a seat. Take a seat. You're making me dizzy.
Because I can't believe she did this, Miss Barrie. She went to the courthouse and told you all that she wasn't even trying to see nothing from me. She's trying to take my house.
Mr. Hart, what is she trying to do?
She trying to take my house from me.
Mr. Hart,
she told me she got everything she wanted from me.
The house. Tell me, let's go to this letter. Did she?
We worked everything out after that letter.
Mr. Hart, when was this letter signed?
Before everything was started. This letter was signed, wasn't even notarized. She took it upon herself to notarize her own thing. And I told her that was illegal.
I'm not even worried about her notarizing it. I'm asking you, is this your letter and is this your signature? Notarizing only becomes an issue if you claim it ain't yours. Did you write this letter?
Yes, ma'am.
Why did you write it?
Because at the time we was in an argument and she kept trying to make me feel bad about the things, talking about why would I want to leave, and if I love her and all this other stuff, I would leave. And I thought about I have my handicapped daddy here. I cannot leave my handicapped daddy here.
So why did you give her the house if you can't leave your handicapped daddy here?
I did not give her the house. Like I said, we was having an argument, Judge Barrie. We was having an argument. And just out of emotion, I said, here you can have the house. But she knew then that's when she said, your daddy gonna have to find somewhere to stay. And I'm like, I can't find a way for my daddy to stay. He's handicapped, disabled, and old.
This says today, October 16th, I leave this house, 6510 Carriage Lane, Stone Mountain, Georgia, to Tabitha Henderson. This is my consent and confirmation, and I will transfer the deed over to her within the next 30 days. I'm in my sane and right mind, and this is my decision. I will pay nothing, no bills either. And then you signed it, she signed it, you dated, and looks like there's a witness. How is it? After that, Judge Barrie, we hadn't started working our relationship. I understand.
After that,
there's nothing that takes away this document. What takes it away? Did you all agree separately that the house would now go back to you? And
yes, because when she signed the paperwork, Judge Barrie, she clearly said that she didn't want nothing. When she went to the house, what that paper? I have the paper. When she went to the courthouse, she clearly said she didn't want nothing from me. She has everything that she wanted. Matter of fact, I can share that document to you, because after that, yes, ma'am, we had agreed that I keep the house.
Okay,
she said she did not want anything.
How did y'all agree that you keep the house?
Well, we agreed it verbally, and then when she went down to the courthouse, Judge Barrie, this is what she said. She said the defendant and I have already divided our marital property, and we are both satisfied with the division. She does not. I'm not seeking anything else from me.
That's not what that says, Mr. Hart. It says I'm not seeking alimony, but it says that we've already agreed to what I'm going to get, and the letter is what you agreed to.
And she took everything what she got when she left here. She left me with nothing but the house and a sofa, a TV, and a bed. She took everything. That was the purpose of her saying that she got everything she wanted.
I can't agree with that, because you have a document wherein you indicated you gave her the house, and then she signed a document saying that she's gotten everything that she wanted. which would make sense because she has the letter that you gave her the house.
But she moved out, Judge. She moved out.
She doesn't have to live. She doesn't have to live in the house to take ownership of a house.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
You might have in distress signed this document, but it is a signed document. And you're not contesting that that's your signature. It doesn't have to be notarized. It was witnessed. So, I mean, whether I noticed that she must be a notary and notarized it, but that notary is not, that doesn't make the document invalid because you didn't need a notary in the first place. You only need a notary on certain particular things, but this document kind of says what it says, which is you intended to give her the house.
We went back to
Mr. Hart, when you gave her the house, when you wrote this signature, this document, what were you intending on doing?
I didn't know what I was intending because, like I said, I was upset at the time, and like I said, after that, we had to really work things out, and she agreed, and she even told me out her mouth she didn't want me. She didn't want the house, Judge. I promise. We don't went out on after the fact. We don't went on dates. Then went out and everything. All of a sudden, she hear about a court date. Now everything she's switching everything back up. She like being malicious about everything.
She hear about a court date, and what happened?
We just recently went out on a date, trying to rekindle our relationship.
Okay.
We just did it. I have bank records showing that we both went to Dudley's, pictures and everything.
You both went where?
We went to Dudley's Bar and Grill. We went out on a date to Dudley's Bar and Grill. You know, we just trying to rekindle our relationship. We just went to a jumping house. We got videos on Facebook about that, both of us spending time together. And it's like, as soon as she heard, because she didn't even know we had a court date until I told her we had a court date. Now all of a sudden, now when I told her court date, she's back on trying to take my house from me. And when she clearly said she didn't want to take it from me. Then when I asked her, I said, Tabitha, I thought you said you didn't want the house from me. She said, "That say Donovan." I said a lot of things. I can go back and change my mind on it. Like, why is you doing this to me? I've been trying to work on the relationship and rekindle things with Tabitha all for the time she been gone. I've been trying to talk to her. I've been and she feel like she could just cuss me out, snap on me, and feel like I shouldn't feel no type of way or say anything about that. I just got to be quiet, and that's what I've been doing. She just recently we just recently talking about going to Bermuda together on my birthday. My birthday.
When is your birthday?
June 23rd next month. We just talking about it now being that we in court, she trying to deny and trying to act like she didn't say none of these things. And when I'm telling you,
hey,
I'm talking.
Who was that?
You keep calling me names. You keep calling me names.
Where's that?
No, that's a video I submitted.
Oh, is that me?
Yeah,
no, she's playing a video of an argument that we had a while ago that her son recorded.
Sorry, am I playing that might be me. Yes, that might be me. I was looking at your evidence. I may have. Kalia, can you come show me how to cut it off? I was going through your evidence. I must have clicked on it. So that might have been me. Oh, how do I stop that? I think I clicked on it. Minimize. What is it? Okay. Oh, no, I opened it here. Oh, okay. So that's media. Okay. Click that off. Okay. Sorry. I apologize. I didn't know that was me. I was like, where is that coming from? Okay. I was going back through the
Judge Barrie, and like I told her, you know,
I'm going to send it to you, Miss Harris. Can you separate the issues dealing with the adultery? Because there's some pictures in there and some other stuff. Separate that from the other so that I can talk about. I want to take those are some graphic pictures and I don't want to show them on YouTube. The pictures. So let's see if we can separate those pictures.
Okay.
With those,
I'm sorry, Judge.
Not you,
She
Ms.
sent
Marshall.
a lot of JPEGs. You want me to look at the JPEGs?
You know what? Don't worry about it. I just won't share them. Don't worry about it. I'm not even going to try because I might accidentally share some of these pictures and I don't want them to be shared on YouTube.
Yes, ma'am.
The adultery that you're talking about, Ms. Henderson, initially, is that the impetus for the divorce? Like, is that why y'all started the fights?
That's the ground of it, Your Honor. But aside from him cheating, it's the argument. Like in the video, those are the
Okay.
arguments. That's how it escalates every
Those
time.
escalate
And
the
it's due to
argument.
his
Okay.
cheating. Yes. And that's how it escalates every
But Mr.
time.
Hart said that you were aware of the cheating and you were trying to
I
reconcile.
was aware of the cheating, but we were never working. Your Honor, if this man just told you, and I left in December, where was we rekindling when he signed the letter in October? I left in January when when I got the lease.
Well, he signed this letter is signed in October 20.
October.
Yes. October
The
2020.
fight occurred after that, and he's saying
What?
his stuff he's saying is making sense. But yeah, the adultery was the main cause of when our relationship started going down here.
Did he sign this after you found out about the adultery? Is that why when did you find out about the adultery as it relates to the signing of this letter?
No, I've been new because he was fooling with some other female. This particular incident is one female he was fooling with for over 2 years. And the fact that he
One that sent the pictures?
Yes, ma'am. So that's the main, she's been there. And I've stayed and tried to work it out. That's what I'm trying to tell him. I've stayed and tried to work it out. 2 years, Your Honor.
You also, there was another, you said it was a woman that was in the house. Who was in the house?
No, she wasn't. I don't know who she was. I don't know who that lady was that was in the house. He gonna try to act like I didn't see it, so it didn't happen. That's how he played that.
Okay. Do you know the lady's name? You don't have to say it on YouTube, but do you know?
No, I don't know that particular lady. No.
The one that sent those pictures. Did she send those pictures to you or did she send those pictures to Mr. Hart?
Yeah, to Mr. Hart.
And you just saw him on his phone?
Yes, on his phone, on his watch. Yes, ma'am.
Did Mr. Hart acknowledge that he knows who that person is?
At first, well, he didn't admit until after I showed him the evidence, because when I came to him and asked him about it, he told me no. He made it seem like I was crazy and I was just hallucinating, like I was just making up stuff. He called me miserable. He said I was just messy. When I found it, I was the one messy. When I actually found the evidence. Mr. Hart put in effort to see that lady. He taking this lady out of town. Mr. Hart has put in effort to be with that lady. And that's why I said it's not going to change. It's not going to stop. You chose to fight with me. And yeah, he knows. So he didn't initially confess the fidelity until after, I think we had our first counseling session. So after that. But before, he wanted to make it seem like I'm just delusional and it's all in my mind.
So the woman that so he admitted the affair in the counseling, but indicated he wanted to get back with you. Were you amenable to that?
The first time we went, yes. The first time I was, yes. And I stayed.
Okay. Did you happen to see these pictures and these text messages, Mr. Hart, that she presented to the court?
I just seen these text messages when the court day was coming up. I guess Miss Marshall told her to email the things to me. That was the first time I have knowledge of those pictures.
The girl in the pictures and these pictures, you're saying that you've never seen that girl or these pictures?
I never said I didn't never see the girl in the picture. There was a girl that, you know, I did step out on my wife, and like I said, we talked about that. We worked past that, and she got a phone call. Okay, I have a friend that has like a delusional wife, and Tabitha knows that. I guess my friend must have around and got into it with his wife, and his wife like don't know me or Tabitha from Adam or Eve. She decided to call Tabitha on Facebook, trying to get back at her husband of my friend, started telling a whole bunch of stuff that had already happened that Tabitha had already got over. And being that she told Tabitha all this stuff, not only that, she even said that I had another baby on the way. And I'm like, really? And Tabitha already know this stuff, but when she said that I had another baby on the way, that just stemmed Tabitha to even just forget about everything we tried to work on. And kind of find out, Tabitha can admit it, kind of find out that the girl was just trying to get back at her husband. And, you know, and that just killed everything that me and her was trying to work on, because like I said, we was trying to work on our relationship up until that day.
Okay, when so that day happened, the first time that Tabitha told you she was out of this relationship? When was it?
After that phone call that my friend wife called her, she was not even thinking about, and that was like,
what date?
Oh my God, that's probably the same day that letter got wrote.
No,
that was probably the same day that letter got wrote.
When was
because
it?
Tabitha came down. Because the thing was, Tabitha came down. I walked in the house from work.
I need for you to listen. When was it that you realized your relationship was on the fritz?
Well, I realized my relationship was on the fridge before her birthday, October 6th.
Okay, so in October, that's when you realized that y'all about to start, that she's interested in divorcing.
No, we was like just really talking about separating.
You were talking about separating in October.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I was trying to take her out of town, to try to rekindle things. I had him rented an RV and everything. I took her to Tampa, Florida, trying to rekindle things with her. I took her daughter, and her granddaughter, and her daughter fiance.
So when was it that you believed that Tabitha told you she no longer wanted the house?
Well, she told me she no longer wanted the house like in November, because we was back together. We went to a Thanksgiving dinner, my mother's birthday, and everything together.
Heart, when did she say it? What did she say? Don't give me generalities, okay? I need to know, what were you saying? You had a conversation with her.
Okay, this is the conversation that she said. She said, this is what she told me. She said she no longer want the house. She just want to get out of this marriage. She just want a divorce. She said, you got the house, and that's what you so hold on about keeping. You can have the house. I just want out the marriage. That's quote unquote what she said. Right or wrong, Tab? I mean, I'm sorry, but that's what she told me.
Wrong.
Okay.
She said she just want out this marriage. Because like I said, I've been trying to talk to her all year long. And every time I talk to her, it's like I'm coming to her humble as I can, being that she says she hurt. She says she has the rights in the ground to snap on me and cuss me out and just be belligerent every time she talked to me. Because she said, can nobody tell her how long she need to be hurt? And I've been that's her main. Can nobody tell her how long she can heal or be hurt? And I've been trying my best to do everything I possibly can to try to rekindle this marriage up until this day. And she clearly told me that she didn't want nothing else from me. When she took everything to her apartment, that's all she wanted. She said only thing she wanted out this marriage. Now all of a sudden we got a court date coming up. Now she's talking about I don't understand it.
So you think she wants out the marriage because she wants the house?
No, I mean, because one minute I'm trying to tell her, like, come on, let's work things out, and then she don't know, she don't trust. I'm like, you just got to believe. I don't know. Be honest with you, I know why she wanted the house, because she wanted to open up many different businesses with this house. Because that was like our main argument, because she wanted to open up a daycare. And I'm telling her, like, if you open up a daycare in this house, I'm gonna feel very uncomfortable. But when I'm telling her I'm gonna feel uncomfortable, she gonna sit down and say I'm not supporting her. I even offer her to go. Boom, Tabitha, we can go get a building. Rent a building for your daycare.
I'm sorry.
No, I don't want to do that. I want to do it in the house.
That information is not gonna affect the decision. I'm purely looking at.
But that's basically what she wants the house. She want to open up multiple businesses.
But what I'm asking you, are you saying that she's lying? For what purpose? To get the house to open up the daycare? Is that the reason you're saying she wants?
That's the main reason why she want to open up get the house, because she want to open up a business in this house.
Why she wants the house? I mean, you have a reason you want the house too.
Yes.
You both can have reasons for wanting the house. That's not my question. My question is that you were saying that she's lying about something, and I'm trying to understand what your basis is that she's lying about.
She want to open up a daycare in this house, Your Honor. And I'm telling her
what would be wrong with that?
Because, like, if we were staying here together, it's like the rules that she was giving me, the argument that she was giving me, like, when I come home from work, I had to be confined in my room. And I feel like if I'm paying the mortgage, if I'm paying over 13,
do you believe that her desire to open up a daycare caused the demise of the marriage?
No, that's not the reason why. No, that's not what I'm saying, Judge. You
Okay,
asked me.
then why does
You
it?
asked.
Why do
You
I
asked
care?
me.
Why
You
do I
asked me why.
care?
You asked me why she wanted a house, and I'm telling you my opinion. The reason why she wanted the house.
Okay,
It's
no,
not. It's not.
that's not kind of what I was trying to say. I thought you were arguing that there was some lies that she was telling about the house that affected the divorce.
Oh no, nothing about the house affected the divorce. It's just our relationship. That's what affected the divorce. I
Okay.
just took the point when you asked me. Why do I think she want the house? And I'm just telling you what I think. When you asked me that question, I was just telling you what I think. The reason why I think she want the house
Okay.
because of the arguments we had.
Okay. Do you think that she is through with this marriage?
To be honest with you, Judge, off and on, because I just had a conversation with her on yesterday, to be exact. She said, well, we get a divorce and then we start back dating. I have to date her and everything else. And I got my right hand. We can both put our right hand up right now.
God. Like, why would I? Oh,
Okay,
boy.
We both
Anderson,
put your right hand up. We
put
both
yourself
put
on
our
mute.
right hand up right now.
Put
We just
yourself on
had this
mute.
conversation yesterday.
Put yourself on mute, Miss Henderson.
We just both had this conversation yesterday. She said, and I was trying to tell her, I was like, why should we get a divorce to start everything back over? Because if we're gonna start everything back over, there's no sense of divorce. And I told her, if we get a divorce, I may not think I want to get married again.
Have you and Miss Henderson had any sexual encounters?
No, ma'am. She been at her house and I've been over here for like the year, but we have been seeing each other.
Okay, but y'all have not been sexual.
No, ma'am.
All right. Then generally that means that the marriage is irretrievably broken. Okay. Is there any hope for reconciliation, Mr. Hart?
Well, at this point, no, ma'am.
Miss Henderson, is there any hope for reconciliation?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now let me go back one more time for the house just to make sure I understand the position. Is it your position that you want the court to consider this letter and that you get the entire house, or do you want to split the house?
No, the entire house. How would we split? No, the entire house, Your Honor.
But you would buy him out?
If have to be. I don't know how.
You would buy 50% of the house. You would buy him out, or you would sell the house and then you would split the money.
Okay. You went.
I'm asking you, what is your wish? You want the court to consider? Because I mean, I'm going to look into the letter and see if the letter in and of itself is sufficient. And my question to you is, his position is when he gave the house, he was distraught, and you are aware he was distraught, and that he should get 50-50 of the house. Is that your position?
No, Your Honor, but if that's an option, we can go with it. Because he did say at one point he would sell it and we would split the money. He did say that at one point. But no, he was not distraught. He was in his mind and he got his daddy to sign it. Like, Your Honor. So
Okay.
yes.
So you want the house.
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to take a look at the letter and I'll look at the law to see if that letter is sufficient to transfer the house. I do think that this is marital property. I think Mr. Hart had it, but he gifted the house to the marriage. It's very clear he did so because you were involved from the beginning, from the credit down to the deposit, down to the paying the house note. That house note came out of marital funds. It was paid by you each and every month out of a marital pot. It is a marital home, which means generally on a marital home, I would split it 50-50. But I do have a letter where Mr. Hart says that all of it is Miss Henderson's. So I'll take a look to see what the law says about that letter.